All you're here to do is to be present for this moment. And if there's a thought arising, saying, he's having a thought, or she's having a thought. All you're here to do is to be present for this moment. And if there's a thought arising, saying, he's having a thought, or she's having a thought. And the mind may not like that idea. Mind wants you to look at the past, figure out what you did wrong, what you did right. Look at the future, what may go wrong, what may go right, or what definitely will go wrong or definitely go right, and comment on the image, and comment on other people, and comment on your situation. That's what the mind wants to do. And some people say that's what the left brain wants to do. And some people say the right brain wants to just be present, to receive, to take in the whole. Yes, sensory feedback goes to both hemispheres, but the right brain is more about the holistic. In any case, outside of neurology, this very question of what if I'm just here to recognize what thoughts are arising and simply register them without comment. It's a very radical, extremely simple idea, and if you accept the idea, then you're only in the present moment, because that's all your job is to be there for the present moment thought. It may take a new habit if you've spent many decades on earth not doing that, and no one's ever said it to you before. But think about how simple life is when it's just about what thought is arising right now, or what thought about a thought. And can I simply receive it without agreeing or disagreeing, not moving to suppress? If it's an emotion, being there for that.
I'm not adding any emotional content, maybe compassion, ideally, to whatever thought is arising. And you could really bring compassion to any thought, because any desire, aversion, regret, guilt, fear, anger, aggression, attachment, agenda, it all deserves compassion, because it's something that's moving you away from a state of peace. Or you deserve compassion for experiencing something that's pulling you away from peace and presence and silence and stillness. Now, a logical person may say to me, well, if I were really to be able to do this, and I'm not saying anyone could do this all the time, but if I were able to, for every moment, just greet every thought that's arising, wouldn't I be like a vegetable? Wouldn't I be completely ineffective? Wouldn't I be unable to accomplish anything at all? Wouldn't I just sit on my sofa? Or I wouldn't even have a sofa. Wouldn't I just sit on the curb all day, hoping that food would come to me, hoping that someone would take care of me? And that's what you see. People who are in a shifted state, this could last for a minute, a day, hours, they do enter that state of that they need to be taken care of. But we notice that they always, if not almost always, come out of that state, and then they're moving around, doing things. Maybe someday modern technology will let us zap half of our brain so we can be in a state like she was. But the fact of the matter is, what if there is no mistake? What if our work is to try to bring one hemisphere to the other, to bring that yin receptive quality of I'm just here to receive the thought or emotion that's arising, and maybe have compassion for it, but just receive it, not rushing to agree, disagree, suppress. And then to have part of us, our brain, that is like, no, I need to do something, I need to get something to happen, I need to learn from my past mistakes. And then not making that wrong. I think one of the values of listening to these spiritual teachers, some who have great advancement, is to see what they're missing. It's usually one little thing. Pema Chodron, same thing. Assumptions about the world shouldn't be full of violence and pollution. Yeah, probably, she's right, but we don't know that for sure. Constantly questioning these teachings, even my own teachings. I hate to call them teachings, that sounds so fancy. And if they sound ridiculous, I think that they're probably the best. So it's completely ridiculous to say all you're here to do is to be receptive to whatever thoughts and emotions, sensations are arising, and just greet them ideally with compassion, but not rushing to agree or disagree. It's very hard. It's simple, but it's very hard to do because we have half of our brain dedicated and years, decades of not doing that. So it's a practice. It's not, as Pema Chodron would say, training. Training implies that you're actually going to achieve it. You might achieve it, but a practice is more humble to me. So I don't want to be critical of these very famous spiritual teachers. It's not where I want to be at. But I think it's also valuable to see where they're missing something.